I wish that I was actually doing this read aloud in class with you, because this is an eye-popping 3D bug book, which actually brings 3D glasses, and if you wore them, you would see the bugs jumping out at you. This should look familiar from math. We're doing two-dimensional shapes. Three-dimensional, the 3D means three-dimensional. It means it has length, width, and it has height. That means if you look at something, you can actually see it as if it was in person. Okay, so this book is by Barry Rothstein and Betsy Rothstein. And like I said, it brings a cool pair of 3D glasses. And when we're back in school, I'll bring it in so that you can look at it. So the pictures are going to look a little funny because they're meant to be seen with the three-dimensional glasses. It is a bug book. It is a non-fiction book, so you can see that it has a table of contents, and it has many chapters because it has different chapters on different bugs. And I know some of you are researching butterflies, and others are researching dragonflies, and others are researching bees and beetles, and ants and spiders. And there's actually a chapter on each of those. I'm going to try and read all the chapters if I can, so that you can see it. So you see this one? It looks kind of blurry because it's meant to be a three-dimensional picture. And the back cover, you see how it looks kind of blurry because it's meant to be seen with three-dimensional glasses. Have you ever been to a 3D movie where you have to wear those special glasses and it seems like things are popping out at you from the screen? That's what this book looks like when you wear those glasses. I can't go to 3D movies because they give me a really big headache. It's too much sensory. So I'm going to show you the pictures, but it's going to feel like, whoa, I need glasses. You don't need glasses. It's just they're meant specially to pop out. It says, welcome to the world of phantogram bugs. Waiting for you on the pages of this book are dozens of bugs from all over the world. Through the magic of phantograms, you can practically touch these creatures if you dare. Because phantograms go beyond the effects of traditional three-dimensional photography, the bugs will seem as if they are rising off the page in front of you. These phantom critters are practically begging you to reach out and grab them. But do so at your own risk. While you might not mind some of these bugs in your yard, others may look like science fiction monsters. As you page through this book, you'll find facts about the bugs, where they live, what they eat, and their special weird looks and behaviors. You'll find out which bugs are up at night, which ones are aerial acrobats. That means that they do somersaults and flips in the air. Which ones eat only dead things. We call those the cleanup crew. And which ones eat their own kind. Take a trip around the world via the Arthropod Kingdom. Who knows? Maybe you'll find some of these same very bugs in your own backyard. In the meantime, enjoy your phantogram friends. So this is a whole chapter on how they actually made this book, how they took a regular picture and they turned it into a three-dimensional picture. I'm going to skip this page because I'm not really interested in how the 3D of this book works. I'm more interested about the animal facts. But again, I'm going to have this book available in class when we go back to school, and you can be more than happy to browse through it and learn more about how the art of taking a regular picture and turning it into a 3D picture, because that in itself is a lot of art. So there's a chapter on butterflies and moths. And here's the butterfly. Here's the butterfly. And it says, how to tell the difference between a butterfly and a moth. Butterflies and moths have been described as flying flowers. What a beautiful name. These beautiful creatures spend their entire lives on or around plants. From egg to fully grown insect, gardeners count butterflies and moths among the benefits of having a garden. They help to pollinate flowers, just like bees. But their appearance is reason enough to want them around. Why? Because they're pretty to look at, right? Moth or butterfly. Both moths and butterflies have wings covered with tiny scales so delicate that they rub off like a powder. They also both have a kind of tubular tongue for sipping flower nectar. So imagine their tongue is like a straw. It's like this, so that they can suck the nectar up through their tongue, which is shaped like a straw. For moths and butterflies, but moths and butterflies have their differences too. Butterflies have clubbed antennae with a thick bulbous shape at the end. So that means their antenna is nice and straight, but at the end it has this thick club like this. While moths have either hair-like or feather-like shaped antennas. Moths, so that means they're really skinny and, right? Moths usually have fatter bodies than butterflies. Most moths hold their wings flat when at rest, while butterflies hold their wings together. It's common to think that butterflies have more colorful wings, but a closer look often reveals beautiful patterns on moth wings, and some rival any butterfly for color. People also often think that moths are nocturnal. That means that they're active at night and that they sleep during the day, while butterflies are active during the day. That's also not true. You've changed. Moths and butterflies are expert shape shifters. They start as eggs. When each egg hatches, a tiny caterpillar emerges that sheds its skin several times as it grows. The mature caterpillar then goes into a pupal stage, hardens its outer skeleton. It's called an exoskeleton, to protect the changing body inside. Finally, the moth or butterfly emerges from the pupa, also called a cocoon for moths and a chrysalis for butterflies, pumping fluid into its crumpled wings. The whole process is called metamorphosis. A butterfly's whole life, with all of those changes, can happen within 2 or 3 months. So that means in 2 to 3 months, they can go from being an egg to a fully grown butterfly. Fly me to the food. Butterflies and moths are cold-blooded. Their blood temperatures depend on air temperature rather than being regulated by their bodies. They most adapt to survive the colder temperatures of northern winters. Some species spend the winter as dormant eggs. That means dormant. That means they're like in an egg stage for the entire winter to be able to survive the cold temperatures. Some survive as larvae or pupa, and some simply hibernate as adults in protected places like wood piles or under tree bark, or even inside of a building. That's why you might have seen a moth flying into your house at night. They're seeking warmth. It says, the trailing wings of a tiger swallowtail butterfly serve as distraction for predators. The tiger swallowtail can survive a hit to the wingtails far better than a hit to the body. And again, I'm going to show you the outline. So if it is struck, the wings are stronger than its inner body. It would rather get hit in the wings than on the body. The body is very fragile on this type of butterfly. It says, the morning cloak caterpillar, which you see many of them here, is black with white flecks, has a row of red-orange spots down its back, and spiky little hairs all over it. After the pupa stage, The adults live from 10 to 11 months, making them the longest living butterflies in the world, because we said that they have very short lives. So 11 months is a long time to live for a butterfly. So here are the monarch butterflies, which are the most common butterflies that we know. It says monarchs overwintering in Mexico and California remain relatively inactive during the cooler months, huddling together in trees and flying only occasionally, clustering together in the small pine forest of Mexico. Sometimes the combined weight of the butterfly causes a branch to break. Can you imagine how many butterflies must be on that branch for the branch to break? Because one butterfly is really, really light. It must have millions of butterflies in it. Monarch butterflies migrate. That means they travel long distances. Monarchs that hatch in Canada will fly south to Mexico. That's a 2,000-mile trip. And they instinctively know. That means they're born knowing that when winter is coming, when the temperature is getting cooler, by instinct they know to fly to Mexico, to these forests. Scientists don't know yet how they know that, but they're born with that instinct. This rustic sphinx moth is also called a hummingbird moth because it can hover like a hummingbird. So have you ever seen a hummingbird eating? If this is the flower, the hummingbird will fly in place while it eats. It can hover like a hummingbird as it feeds from flowers. It's 10 inches long or 25 centimeters. It enables its tubular tongue enables it to sip nectar from deep-throated flowers like petunias. Its bright color underwings can startle enemies, helping the moth escape from danger. If you get startled, that means you get suddenly scared. So if it's hovering over, the wings underneath actually scare any predators that might be trying to eat it. I'll read these two more pages. The giant Atlas moth is a member of the Saturniidae family. The male's large feathery antenna help it pick up the scent of a female. Like all moths, the adult lives off stores from its larva and pupa stages, and its mouth parts don't work, so it doesn't feed. Wow, that's a cool fact. The owl butterfly. Why do you think it's called the owl butterfly? Because of its giant eyes? Does it look like the face of an owl? It's found in Central America. Its large eye spots may startle any birds or lizards trying to attack it. Its wingspan is 4.5 inches wide, and it feeds on rotting fruit. Somebody's got to eat it. The large image is the butterfly's underside, while the instant image is a view of its top side. So this is what it looks like from the bottom, and this is what it looks like from the top. The bottom is supposed to be scary because while it's hovering over the air, the predators see what's at the bottom, and if they see a scary face, they're going to fly off. That's a pretty smart animal, don't you think? Tomorrow, I will read to you about dragonflies.